All righty, good evening, everyone, and welcome to BMM Live. This is Bidemi Mark-Mordi, obviously, and then I would have as my guest today um, my sister ISO. I'm sorry we're starting late. We've been having um, a bit of an of a technical issue, so we're still trying to resolve it. We may not be live on Facebook today, but at least I'm hoping that she's able to join us on IG in a bit. So just give me a moment. And once she's live with me, I will come in. Can you hear me? Who can hear me this evening? Facebook people, I'm so sorry I can't come on. So if someone is looking for me on Facebook, they may need to come to IG. So maybe what to do is for me to just go on. Let me tell them on Facebook that I won't be live on Facebook. That it will only be on IG today. Okay. Okay, so I've posted. So, all right, good evening, everyone. Welcome again. And I'm just going to wait for my sister Ian to join. But the essence of today's, okay, so here she is. Let me see if I can add her to my video. I can see her. So, so maybe you should request to join so that we can have, so that I can add you, and then we don't have plenty issues. So request to join the video 6. Can you please request to join the video? So how has your day been? It's a Thursday evening. I have been lying down for a bit this evening. Okay, so you can see me. So I'm waiting for my guest to ask to be added to the video. Okay, so let me see whether she has asked. Let me see if I can add her myself. I hope you can come on now. I've tried to add you, so hopefully you are able to come on. Let's see whether you're able to come on. But really, the focus of today's show is just to talk about age. Aha, I can see you. Can you hear me? Hey sis, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Good evening, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Can you see me and can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, so okay,
Good
all right.
evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my sister Inyang Sami-Orungbe. So today we'll be talking age matters. So what's the focus of today's gist? Okay, great. So the focus of today's show is very simple. Sometimes we get in relationships and one person is way younger than the other person, or the other person is older than the other person. How do you interact in this kind of relationship? What are the pillars that you hold on to despite a differential in age? That's the focus of our conversation this evening. Now, you know that ISO is one of my sisters. There's Audrey, there's Anife, there's Neka, there's you. I was trying to remember who the other person was. There's you. Okay, so those are my sisters in Lagos, in that sisterhood that we started. But there are other sisters, obviously, all over the place. But these ones, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't know. Can everybody hear me? Because
okay, I can hear you now. But initially, I couldn't hear you. I could just see your hands going.
No, sorry, I'm trying to.
Okay, I can't hear you. I think something is up with your internet. I can't hear you. It's freezing. I can't hear you. More English. I cannot hear you.
Okay, I'm going to switch network now. Give me 1 minute. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay, so I was saying that the focus this evening is to take a look at the different relationships that we have. And when there's an age differential, how do you interact in that in those relationships? That really is the focus. We want to look at age. How does age impact upon relationships, positively or negatively? So that for me is the focus. Um, I'm just waiting for her to come in. I don't know. Let me see. But I can find her. She's not even live right now. Okay. So I'm going to wait for her to come back in because apparently she's dropped off. But really, I know that that is been some of the one of the things that has affected many a relationship. Whether it's for men and women, how do you interact when one person is older? If you take into consideration culture or cultural differences and stuff like that. Growing up, I was brought up to never call someone who is older than me by name. It's just something I do not do. I do not call people who are older than me by name. And so in this relationship, it was a bit awkward, but I'm not going to tell the story until she's live. Hopefully she comes back live early enough. It was a bit awkward for me in the beginning to figure out, has she my friend? And then she's older than me. How do I address her? What would my interaction with her be like? Because I didn't want to lose a sense of what my mother had taught me. Once someone is older than you, she's older than you, or he's older than you. And from my culture, you must show or you must defer to that person. So how do I get into a relationship with someone, the kind of relationship that we have, and yet not be, okay, so let me wait for you. I'm waiting to be added. Let me see if I can find you now because I couldn't see you before. That's the problem. Because you drop off, I now can't see you. You have to ask to be added, sis. You need to ask to be added because I can't add you. All the other people have pushed you all the way down and I can't see you. So you need to ask to be added to the video. So I'm going to continue to say what I'm saying while I wait for her to come on. But essentially, I was waiting. It was for me something that mattered. I didn't want to lose what it was that my parents had taught me. And because I had now gotten into a relationship that was supposed to be a lot more, I don't know what is happening today. They don't want you to come on. All these Ekwesu people. Okay, I see you now. Let me try and add you. Okay, so I'm waiting for you to come on. I can see you now. So I'm waiting for you to come on. Hopefully this is a better network. Aha. Okay, can you hear me this time? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I cannot hear you. And it's scrolling on your end, which means that your internet may not be strong enough. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm just going to go on and tell this story. Hopefully she's able to join me. Otherwise, I'll tell my side of the story. Okay, so she's not able to come. How did I meet Ian? Apparently, that same networking event where I met Audrey, she was there, but I did not know she was there. So one of the things we were required to do at that networking event was to leave our business cards at the gate. Actually, I think that I brought you on, you were frozen, I couldn't add you. I think that that particular event was organized was a partnership event between the organization that my sister I also worked with at that time And okay, I can see you. I hope you can hear me this time. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Wow. Okay, so the event was a partnership event. I can hear noise from your end. I don't know why you can't. Okay, scrolling again. Anyway, so it was a partnership event between her organization at that time and the other business entity that organized the event. And it was supposed to be a networking event for women. So she was there at that event. And at the gate, when we registered, they had asked us to leave a complimentary card. So we all had left our complimentary cards. And I think what happened after was their own business was supposed to follow up those people who left their complimentary cards. So this fine day, I was sitting in my office, and some Ian with a very sweet voice calls me. And she says, "Oh, is that Bidemi?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, did you come for such and such event?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, that her name is Inyang Sami-Orungbe, and she's from da 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 da." And she talked to me about this. She was working with I think it was an investment arm of a particular organization at that time. And she talked to me about this investment thing. And incidentally, at that point in time, I was looking for an investment a vehicle to put my 5 naira into. So when she talked to me about it, I said to her, "Oh, I'll be coming to the island. Let's meet. I'll come by your office so that we can have the conversation." So I went to her office on that day, on the day that we had agreed. So I kept calling. I remember it was raining, so there was a bit of traffic. But eventually I got to her office and I entered. Now, here's the first shock that I had. When I received the call on the telephone, she sounded really young to me. So rule number one, never judge a book by the cover. You can never determine how old someone is, if those things matter to you, just by listening to her conversation, or listening to her voice. Because when she spoke to me on the phone, I could bet my bottom dollar that she was in her 20s. So I walk into this room and no, she was not in her 20s. She was already 50. I walked into the room and so I asked, "I'm looking for so and so," and they led me to her office, and I got there and I saw, and I was like, "You?" So I remember that, "I'm so sorry." And I think she felt, "Why are you sorry?" And I'm sorry because I did not realize that you were this much older than I was. So I take back, if I sounded cheeky on the phone, I take it back. So I apologize, and that was where we met for the first time. We sat down, we talked. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. So we sat down, we talked for a long time, and obviously I was sold on that investment, and that was how I filled the forms, and we started that. So we automatically, a relationship had begun. And yes, I remember that the next rot I have after that, you guys partnered with us,
Yes.
partnered with us, and you even had the opportunity to speak on investments to the women. And that was how our story started. So when Audrey eventually came on the scene, and Audrey decided that, we had to be this group of like-minded women who we formed this collaboration to do life together, I forwarded the email to you, and I said, "I think this is something you would like to be part of." And that was how she became a part of it. That's what I remember about our meeting. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So you tell yours if it was different.
Oh, well, good evening, everyone. And I'm so sorry. Gosh, technology can be something, isn't it? I mean, it's something that has never been a problem for me. And then all of a sudden, oh, wow, devil is a liar. Anyhow, we are here. But Bidemi, you've captured this story pretty well, I think. And and on my side, too, I don't know, what was I even expecting? I mean, the truth is, even as on that day, I had no idea that you were as young as you are. Do you
Oh,
understand?
wow.
Oh, no, I didn't. I know Bidemi has this thing. She'll be calling you mama, man. I just thought, okay, I mean, she's an extra, well brought up, girl and all that. So some people are like that. But even in the sisterhood, I had no idea there was such a dinosaur amongst you all until so many years later.
Anyhow, yes. So that was how we became sisters. I can't call us friends now. That's how we became sisters. And over the years, even today when she called me, I said, Ma. It's crazy, right? But that's the only way I can respond to her. And it is hard. It is rare for me to hear, for you to hear me call her by her first name. And the best I do when we are just is ISO, because that's the best I can do. Every time I call her by her name, something inside of me says, now so they bring you up. They, they respect person. But really, that's me. I have always been careful. It's never this 10 years plus have not eroded the fact that, or the consciousness that you are older than me. It has never done that, and it will never do that. But I enjoy the fact that you also are, even though that has become, I believe, a quirk for me, because I'm the one who is very conscious of it, I believe. I don't think you are not conscious of it, because even though she's the oldest, okay, somebody is saying, how old, how much older than you is she? If you don't know, this woman is 60 what against this? Let me tell them. In this month now.
I'll be 62 this month on the 23rd.
Can you see that? I'm just itching to 50 in a month or so. So you see the disparity, right? 12 solid years. Not be moin. Some people don't born children at age 12, if you know what I'm saying. So definitely for me, that gap is huge. And I have never thought that, made the mistake to think that we're on the same level. I have never thought about it like that. But also, even though she's the eldest amongst us, she's also the one that is the most childlike. I'm not saying childish, please. I said childlike. She is the most childlike. So if we ever had to, let me just confess, if we ever had to, if it was possible that we would get on an issue and be divided, and I wanted someone in my camp before we got to the meeting, she's the first person I will call, because she has a way of seeing your point of view, no resistance. I have never seen this woman resist anything. She's just like, okay, cool. Okay, we roll with it. And I'm like, she's so easy to deal with. So sis, I've never said this before, but I wanted to say it today. Thank you for making it so easy for people like me, to make it for people like me to just be able to flow with you. And when I say people like me, I'm not saying that I'm any less of a human being, but when we look at the age, that matters for me personally, that matters. And to be able to just flow with me, with all my gra sometimes and my okra some other time. Although I've retired from okra, I've retired from okra, right?
If you say so.
And I've retired, and Ife is the one that's holding the okra bowl now.
Oh, I didn't know you'd passed on the baton.
I'm saying so. Now, and if you carry okra plates now, I know they do okra again. I'm eating any kind corn now. That's what I'm eating. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we met. And that's the main dynamic that to consider in this relationship. Personally, for me, is the main dynamic to consider in this relationship. And just because she would not make you feel like, she's older and therefore she must have the last say. Or she will not, she's never made me feel like, oh, because I'm older, then you have to toe my line. That has made the relationship easy. But sis, if I will ask you, what are the pillars? What are the things that make it easy for you to be able to just flow with small children like us? Tell me.
I don't know. Have I ever thought about this? I don't even think so.
And by the way, I did not tell her. So this is ambushing her. Because if I tell her, then we will have a doctored story. But right here, there's no doctored story. Yes.
I actually think that's my personality. One of the things that has, I don't know, just stayed with me through life is the fact that I try not to take myself too serious. And I mean, and that is just it. And I've always been very, very comfortable dealing with younger people because I think personally too, I try to constantly reinvent myself. So
Yes, we should get to that.
regardless of whatever group I find myself, I truly flow. I mean, if I may say so myself. And what, just interacting with the sisters, and also because amongst us, there's just mutual respect. So really, so what, I'm the oldest, what am I looking for? I mean, should you be, kneeling down from the door, when you're approaching me? It really doesn't matter. So I truly don't take myself that serious. I consider myself, I don't know whether I should be the one saying it, but I think I'm pretty young at heart. And I think it's been deliberate too. It's been deliberate. Yes, I think it's been deliberate. I've just tried to keep myself in that space where, I mean, I just enjoy being goofy sometimes. I mean,
In
I don't
fact,
know whether whether
uh,
my
maybe
whether
if she
my
would
sister.
oblige us, she would tell us some of the slangs that she equally. I don't understand that. You will be saying something really serious and you hear her just chip in equally. And
Yeah, because
everybody will just go crazy. What is equally in this equation?
yeah, I don't know.
Yes, so she can be really goofy, I agree.
Yes, and for me it's intentional because I think laughter really makes one stay young. Laughter really it's brings you closer to people, and when you don't take yourself so serious, I think you collapse the barriers around you, if at all there were any, because sometimes age does create that barrier without you
Yes, it does.
knowing. Your status in the marketplace can create that barrier without you knowing. So I think, yeah, just, being goofy sometimes, and it breaks the ice. And I think it draws people closer. Yes. So I think
It
it's been intentional.
it definitely has drawn me close and it's kept me close. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, because a lot of people don't know that when we come to, or they don't, is I won't say they don't know. A lot of people do not recognize that sometimes you just find people around you who just know stuff that you probably have not paid attention to. And so one trait that I know that ISO has that I want to also highlight, now I understand that it is intentional, is the capacity to be teachable. You know, I always, 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 I know that you will always ask, no matter what the conversation is, you will ask, so this person, what do you think? So maybe three people have spoken and one person is keeping mute. You are the one that will always ask, what about you? What are you saying? And that is also opens one up to feel that what I have to say is important and it matters. What I have to say is important and it matters. Because you don't just ask for the sake of asking. You ask and you pay attention to to the response that the other party is giving to you. And that helps to just cushion the discomfort that may come because of the age difference. So that's something you also all want to look out for when you're in that kind of relationship. If you are the older one, what are the things we've seen? Don't take yourself too seriously. If for tensioned people, always tensioned people like me, I am tensioned, but I don't take myself seriously either. I don't think that I'm all of that on a cup of tea or something or a slice of bread. I don't think so, but I'm all pretty much a lot more. I'm not as goofy. I'm not even goofy. Let me not say I'm not as goofy. I'm not goofy at all. I don't understand why life is going by and people are laughing too much. I don't understand it, but I do get to laugh. Okay. So for people like me that are consistently tensioned, it is nice to see someone modeled for you that you can relax and not die, and nothing would go bad, you know, and that's one thing that I have learned from you. Then the fact that you are teachable is another one, because sometimes if you are not that disposed to one, it will be difficult to say some things to you. But that trait, it helps to be able to pass things across in that relationship and not feel like, oh, what words do I need to use? As a matter of fact, I don't think that I've ever had to be conscious about the words that I use with you. I've been in other relationships with people not that older than me, yet I have to be careful my choice of words. But the thing I like about it is whatever the choice of words are, you take it, and if you feel like they are not exactly pushing something forward, or they're not gelling with you, you would usually ask, and this is your question, so what does that mean? So if somebody lost a screw before they got to you, that what does that mean is the opportunity for them to find the screw and quickly put it back on so that we can go on in this conversation. So tell me one other thing about how you roll with young people. By the way, if you do not know, this is the woman that exercises on all of our behalf. In fact, God cannot tell me that her exercise does not count for me. I've told God that. She's my sister, she's exercising, cut me some slack. So, and you cannot convince me that what she's doing, because she's carrying trailer tires, it has to be that it's for all five of us. It can't be for only her. So she's the one that exercises for all of us. Yes. The muscles are telling a different story. But that's, again, my story, and I'm sticking with it. Yes, someone saying that you are a grilled listener. I agree. She blends so well and she listens. Yes, so I'm not the only one who's saying this, right? Okay, great. So who else? What else do you want to tell me?
There's something else, that, and I don't know that I always was like that, but perhaps I was. I mean, maybe people can tell me, but I will never forget something that happened once. And I can't remember, when did Coach Anna come to Nigeria for the first time?
She came in 2011.
That's right. I
Yes.
can't forget something that happened, at the conference. There was and I learned that from her, and it stuck with me since that time. I think there was a bank that was sponsoring part of the conference, and
Yes.
yeah, as they would normally do, because that is why they sponsored. So I think it was during some light break session or something, and a gentleman was supposed to have come to just take us through what the bank's products were and all that. And you know how it can be. This was supposed to be, maybe bathroom break and all that. So people were just generally milling around. Nobody was paying attention to the guy. Even I noticed it. And I remember when Coach Anna McCoy came on, when it was her turn, and she drew our attention to that thing that we did. She said that there was a gentleman that was up here, and that we did not pay attention to him. We did not honor him. And I thought, oh, wow. I mean, I can't forget that since that day, that word, the deep meaning of that word, honor, it just stuck with me. And throughout, every day, as I live my life, it is something that I intentionally try to do, regardless of where I go to. Honestly, I don't have any problem calling somebody sir, ma. I mean, nothing. And I'm very careful. If you greet me, I want to answer you looking in your face. If I need to say something to you, I need to speak directly to you. I mean, I don't know whether you've ever watched that movie, Devil Wears Prada.
Yes, I did.
Yes. I mean, my sister and I, we laugh that, I mean, as a top female executive, that's really how most women are. But I had also told myself that I don't ever want to be that kind of boss or manager or GM or whatever. No. And so I suffered a bit for it because, and no regrets, because I remember during an appraisal once when I was still in corporate life, my MD told me during the appraisal interview that, what was the word? That I'm not firm enough, So I said, okay, I mean, sorry, do you mean firm or do you mean hard? He said, yes, okay, sorry, you're not hard enough. I said, that's what I wanted you to say, because I truly don't want to be hard with my team. Yes, I can be firm when, the situation calls for it. But I want to have relationships with people and I want to honor them. I should never sit in front of you, say, for example, having an appraisal interview, and the person degenerates and starts crying. I've seen that happen. If you're in corporate life, you see it so often, especially in the financial sector. It is so, so common. And it is something that I have chosen to ensure that I never do in my life, to make people feel less in front of me than they really are. Rather, I think my role is to build you up. And as best as I can, I try to do that, making sure that, you hold your head high and you feel honored regardless.
Okay, so you guys can see why she's the person I want to be when I grow up, right? Can I sit here? Can I sit here and boast that people don't cry in front of me? Nah, I'll be lying. They get to cry, but I guess that my excuse would be that they get to cry because I'm telling them that they are living below their potential and they are not listening to me. And somehow, if you are living below your potential, and I've been telling you you're not listening to me, I get to a point I can't be nice about it anymore. So that, since she's 62, I'm just about 50, okay? So I promise you I will get it by the time I'm 62, Jesus Christ. That's why she's the person I want to be when I grow up. But the point I'm making is, or the point I'm trying to draw out in all of this is, just in that relationship, a lot of people don't understand that without having to formally put each other in a classroom, we're learning so much from each other. And this thing you just described, I see it every time. I've also seen you like laughing and the thing just dries up immediately and your face is straight. I have seen that also. And I am always very grateful when that happens. Not many times that I've seen it. Every time that happens, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I'm not the person that caused this laughter to dry up. But I have seen that even in all of that, in fact, you are the most no-nonsense person. Because you're like, no, come, take it away. I'm like, Jesus. This person knew. They would not have. But yes, that's to tell you that just because she's intentional about being open and being able to flow with people does not mean that she's a pushover and she rolls over when you step all over her. That's not what I have seen at all. Again, to bring it to the place of understanding that you can be nice and firm when you need to be. You don't need to lose your capacity to be human just because you want to make a point about your superiority on any level. Okay, something else that I want to highlight, maybe she'll tell us why she does it, is that this woman, you just need to say, praise the Lord now, and she begins to cry. And I'm thinking, now you know Jesus passed, why you don't always cry? And then you make those of us who don't cry easily, look like we don't love Jesus enough. So when we're in worship and she goes on and she's like, she's lost, she's crying, and like plenty of tears, I have to consistently tell God, she's crying, but I'm not crying, but I love you too. Don't just think that she's the only one that loves you in this room. I promise you, Lord, she may be crying, but I love you too. Take me seriously too. Why do you make me look bad like that?
Oh my God, this is so hilarious. I don't even know. I just get so mushy in the presence of the Holy Spirit. That is how I express myself in front of God. And and I sometimes, like, I've been in worship, if I don't even feel the move of the Holy Spirit, I'm just there. I'm just enjoying it. But by the time the thing hooks me and it breaks me, I don't even care. Do you understand? I don't care who's beside me. I don't care who's around. And in church, they know me like that. I'm at home. Yeah. You understand? So in the presence of God, I just want to be like his child. I want to express myself. I want to express my heart, to him the way I know how. And yes, it's one of the best places I find myself, because when I then stand up from there, gosh, I feel so much strength. I feel so much strength.
Okay, I don't mind you taking strength there, but just dial it down. Is Ade on this broadcast? Ade should
I
please
should
help me
chill.
beg her mommy
I,
to
I
dial
should
it
chill.
down, because every time she intimidates me by the capacity to cry in the presence of God.
I can't
Sometimes I've actually
believe
been saying, I'll be like, hey God, I hope God is not looking at her so alone, because she's crying. It's the same music. The funny thing is that sometimes I'm the one that picked the songs. How does she get?
this. I can't. Where did this even come from? Are you seriously asking me these sort of things? Oh
Yes,
my
now.
God.
So if they were filming us, you and Audrey, you would just make somebody feel like the person does not know Jesus. And you just go, and then Audrey's own is to just be sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. You don't say a word, but you are crying, and me, I'm just like this.
But Bidemi, you be head mistress now. You know the Edo girl in you, that Edo way do your body now. Oh my God.
So I'm like,
It's just, yeah.
I'm like, okay, you should say yourself come so. See these people that they cry. What did they see when they cry? Why you don't feel cry?
Oh my God. This is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. That's me. That's the mushy side of me. I think everybody just knows me like that. So yeah, I'm sure my children too. I'm sure they're just looking at me now. Wow.
Mama started again.
Yeah. So they know that
Mm,
about me. They know. Then of course, you were talking the other time about the fact that there's some things that I just won't compromise on. And yes,
mm,
I mean, in my family, they call me. My children say I have OCD. Okay, I accept. I have OCD. My sister, that's my BFF. She feels the same way. The things that my eyes see, I can't stand disorder. I can't stand
mm.
it. So, yeah, because somebody told me once, okay, so, I mean, now that you're living in Nigeria now, and that you don't die soon now, but, well, I just can't stand disorder. I can't help myself. I need to set things in place. I need to, yeah. I mean, when I drink tea, I most of the time, somebody said, I mean, must you have teacup? Why must you use the saucer? I don't know. That's just how I like to eat. Why must you eat with fork and knife all the time? That is how I like to eat.
Can you
Yeah.
people see how she makes Lampesega look like she came from on top of a tree somewhere? Everything is dainty. Everything is in its place. Everything. Have you ladies, has anybody seen this woman dress up? Kilo day. She won't even let us.
Not go
I
that
don't
side,
know.
though. Not go that dress side, though. Not go that
Hmm.
dress side.
Okay, make her keep quiet. But really, this is this woman, and this is who she is, and she's a joy and a delight. I'm grateful that I have her in my corner, because what it is that tends to happen with her in my corner is I see, without a shadow of doubt, I see how, you see, if I do have to go to Buckingham Palace, I don't need a I don't need an etiquette coach before I go. I'll just go to her house, spend 3 days. By the time I reach Buckingham, they will think that there they burn me. I promise you. All I just need to do is remember what this woman does. Everything in its place. She will come to your office. You give her water. She will look for the coaster by herself. What is it? Is it not my table? Is it not my cup? Is it not my water? Why is she looking for coaster? Because in her heart or in her mind, you can't put your mug on the table like that. You have to put it. And I'm thinking, life no suppose hard reach like this now. So I don't suffer see water finish. I don't suffer see cup. I get table. I go still find coaster. Why
No,
can't
but
we just roll like that?
no, you people have changed me now. I mean, I've mellowed on all those. Well, I try. Yeah, I mellow. Yeah, I can even
I
drink. I
remember.
drink from bottle now, Nabi.
Okay. Well, I never see him. I remember when Audrey went. I don't even know where Audrey went and bought teacups and came back. You took
Oh
your own. You
gosh!
took your own and you
Oh,
took my own as well.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my, but they're very good for espresso. They're very good for
Sure,
drinking
my
espresso.
cup. Oh. There's no way I'm going to
Yeah,
owe an
just
hour
like that.
over a cup. I cannot go an hour over a cup. Waiting do shoe and bag that I'm owing an iron over a cup. That's a waste of emotion. That's just me.
Oh
But
wow.
okay, so tell me, because I said I will always ask, what is this about me that you don't tell me what I should change? Tell me that later. But what should I not change
What should you not
in dealing
change?
with you? Mm. And well, you
Oh,
can sneak in what I should change as well. No promises that I will change, but
okay. Let me say the ones you should change first. I think you should
hey,
change in terms of being more giving with your clothes. Now, you know, say me and you they wear the same size for some things now, so you have to chill on that. Okay, but but the things you should not chill about. Oh gosh, Bidemi, you I like the no nonsense about you. I like the fact that I mean, you say you are a serious person, but that is really a very endearing attribute for me because you know sometimes it's people need to know where you stand on things,
mm,
you know, and you don't even take prisoners on that. It's very clear. I mean, God, you say you go to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who goes? I mean, are you a child? But that,
I'm a
but
child
that,
of God.
but that's Bidemi's discipline. I mean, of going to bed because she wakes up, you know, at 4 a.m. or whatever. And I wish, I mean, I could be like that. I can't. I mean, if I'm maybe gisting with my husband and all that, it could be 11 and I'll be saying, hey, God, because I still wake up at 4 a.m., you know. So obviously, Bidemi is getting more sleep than I am getting. And that's so unfair. Where will I find the discipline to do things the way she does it? I also like Bidemi, the way you, I mean, I know if I will say this, but you say, okay, well, it's just by grace. But the way you have brought up your children in a very intentional way, you know, to love God, to be themselves, to just find full expression for the way God has made them, you know, bringing them together, you know, as siblings. I find that really, really endearing, and it is very exemplary. And I find your marriage, the way you know the dynamics between you and Mark and all that. Okay, you say you're not okra anymore, but not true. So I mean, yeah, this lady, I mean, as tough looking as she is and all that, when we are all seated and she gets a phone call, I mean, we all know when it's Mark. Because Bidemi's voice go just gentle. Her voice go just gentle. I mean, the okra in her comes out. I mean, you also you hear a woman that really, really honors her husband and you know holds him in very high esteem. It is truly, truly admirable.
Thank you. I'm blushing green black now. But really, that's really who I am. I don't know. Maybe I brought up my children, or again, really, you had it right when you said it's a function of grace. The one thing that I think I'm most intentional about when it comes to my children is that they have to be friends with each other. We're not very social people in my house, which means we're not as outgoing as most families. We even when we get to go out, we go by ourselves, we stay by ourselves, and we come back home. So we had to forge a relationship where we are each other's body and we
Yeah.
look out for each other. And that for me is one of the most, for as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the greatest gifts I've given my children. I remember there was a time my son and my daughter had to go and spend time at their uncle's, and I don't know whether I should say this, but I need to say it. And my daughter's period came, and she wasn't prepared. She had no sanitary towels. It was her brother that went out to go and buy for her. And he didn't
That's
say, oh,
good.
no, I'm not going. He went by himself, asked her what type she wanted, and then he bought it and brought it to her. That's how intentional, because we realized that, okay, if they are not friends, My children don't really have friends. You sparingly hear my children say, except for Joshua, who will say, oh, my friend is coming over. We don't have that happening in our house a lot of times. And it's not because we have stopped them, but maybe because they saw that I'm their father's friend, their father is my friend. So, so maybe it's the way we've lived. But it was important that our children grew up together so that they can be in each other's corner, especially when it comes to things that we can't be in their corner for. And I'm grateful to God that they are able to speak up for each other. When one has an issue and is afraid to bring it up with us, one of them will come to us and say, Mommy, Dukia needs, Mommy, Kenichi needs, Mommy, don't you think you are being too harsh on Joshua? So we have that dynamic, and I'm grateful to God for
Excellent.
that. But I also love the fact that actually your relationship with Adi was a goal for me to achieve with my daughter, to be that person that, you know, I call my daughter sister. That's what I call her, really. But to actually not just have her as my sister by just an appellation, but to have her as my sister so that we can talk everything. I saw that first with you and your daughter, and I said, oh, so this is possible, because I didn't have that with my mom. And so I thought to myself, it would be nice to have that with my daughter. So that's where I aped it from. And I dare say that, yes, over the years, myself and Dukia, we've come a long way. And that friendship is, well, let me not say it's blooming, but at least it's blossoming. And we're going to get exactly in that place. So again, one more thing I learned from you. Thank you. Thank you. So tell me about this new thing you are doing.
Oh, okay. The Bloombox platform?
Yes, what else?
Oh,
that's
okay.
our latest baby.
Yeah, that's my latest pastime on my baby, or hopefully, I don't know, who knows how it's going to go. But an idea just came to me because I do gardening, you know, in my spare time. I mean, everywhere I've lived, whether in an apartment or a house with grounds and all that, I've always had plants. I mean, I remember people saying that, if you go to Inyang Sami's house, that forest, and that before you can find the door, you have to patch the forest and all that. But we are both plant lovers, and the idea then came to me, and I was just, I think, bouncing it off Ayomide, or whether it was just, I can't remember, or anyway, the idea came, right? I was talking to a friend, and just listening, the things started forming my head over this, during the lockdown. I wanted to just start an initiative where you could teach people how to do container gardening, right? I mean, and whether we like it or not, this is the future of food, because I mean, if you read all the reports and all that, the way the population is growing and the way we are producing food, years down the line, is not likely that we'll be producing enough food, to the extent that now people are trying to look for, different sources of protein from insects and all that. And that is identifying the fact that we won't be able to produce enough. So I thought, listen, for as long as, I mean, I grew up with my mom, she always had a vegetable garden. And my mother can make edikang kong, I mean, which you need ugu, water leaf and all that, and she won't need to buy from the market. Right? Oh, no, she doesn't. I mean, she needed to make okazi. No, she has it already. She needed to make okra. She has it already. Yes. So she'll buy the fish or whatever. So, and I thought, that is where we have to go back to, But we're all living in, apartments now, flats and all that. So how do we make it work? So I thought, okay, fine. I wanted to combine it with my background in personal finance, to just point people at the fact that, listen, just the same way, you can grow food, your money too can grow the same way. Requiring nurturing. I mean, what type of soil do you need for your garden? That is as important as what sort of, asset classes of investment. That's exactly. Different seasons, in life require different types of investment. The same thing with, food. Right now you have corn in season. I mean, maybe next time something else. So I'm starting a container garden in my home. I'm going to be planting tomatoes and all that, and just, you know, using it for storytelling. So I started this platform called the Bloombox platform. So I'm on
So guys,
Instagram.
that's yes, please follow
Yes,
the Bloombox
box
platform.
platform.
Follow on
Yeah,
Instagram, on
on
Facebook, and
Facebook
on
and
Twitter.
on Twitter. On Twitter, we're the
Yes.
Bloombox PF. Yeah,
Okay, so please
yeah.
follow so that this is my sister's third reinvention, even when it comes career-wise. And that's the thing about this woman. When she says she likes to reinvent, when I met her, she was in a totally different career when I met her. Then she transitioned from that to go to Aveti and this partnership. And now
Yeah.
this is now something on the side. So in the 10 years I've known her, this is 3 lives that I have seen. You know, yes, and it's great because it's not because one didn't work that you're moving on to the other.
No,
It
no.
is, yes. So ladies again and gentlemen, you can see that nothing should stop you. If you are open to the stretch, then you can find yourself in different expressions as they are inside of you as you go along. Unfortunately, because of all the IT issues, our time is almost up.
No way.
Yes, we're
Time
down to
flies
four
when you're
minutes.
having fun.
I'm
No
telling you, we're
way.
down to 4 minutes. But I'm just going to say this, that when she was talking about apartment gardening, I was running from Langpese from Bush. She wants me to start gardening in Lagos.
Yes,
I'm going to
yes.
trust her tomatoes and her okra. But seriously, ladies, those of you who like okra, when was the last time you made okra soup? I just totally banned okra in my house. Because these days, it doesn't matter where you buy the okra from. When you make it, in the moment you put out the gas, it goes black
Yeah, it's the
and no
fertilizers.
elasticity or anything. So
Yes.
I just said, I had to say to my husband, I said, you know what? If the okra does not come from the village, we're not eating okra for now. Because just to tell you again that the things that are plaguing our bodies are the things that we are doing to make money,
Yes.
or the things some people are doing to make money. So
Yeah.
as we begin to talk about the Bloombox platform,
Platform. Yes.
for you to see that you don't necessarily have to kill another to be able to make money or grow your investment or your finance on the side. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, sis, for the time.
Thank
But I
you.
think that we will have to do this again because
I think
IT
so
took on
too.
most of our time, so we didn't
I
quite get
think
to
I think
land our
so too.
conversations in many ways.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yes, so we'll have to do it again sometime. But to
Yeah.
all of you who, I'm sorry if you were a Facebook person and you were waiting on me on Facebook, it was the IT challenges that didn't make us have a Facebook session today.
Yeah,
But I'm
we'll get
hoping
it
that
right
the
the
next
next time.
time, yes, that the next time we'll get it right and the Lord will help us. Thank you so much for being part of this today. One last thing, you have 1 minute to tell them one last thing, something to encourage them, something to whatever, to ginger them, something.
Well, yeah, I mean, one, I don't think you should allow age date you.
Hmm.
Ensure that you constantly learn. I mean, look
Hmm.
at where we are now with COVID-19 and all that. Everybody's
Hmm.
going technology and all that. Get yourself
Hmm.
in there. Get young
Hmm.
people around you. Get young people around
Hmm.
you. You will learn a lot, you know,
Yes,
from them. Yes. So that's
especially
it.
when it comes to IT. So dinosaur things not working. Wake
Not
up
working.
and stretch. Wake up and
Yes.
stretch. All
Yeah.
righty. Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
spending this evening with us. I'll see you next week, Thursday, on another episode of BMM Live. Who knows who my guests will be then? I'm still trying to get Mark-Mordi to come, but I hope that one day he will agree to come. Thank you so much for your time. God
Thank you,
bless you, and
everyone.
just
Thank
keep
you.
growing, because if there's anything I learned today, it is that you can continue to grow until you die. Don't stop growing just because you have crossed the 50, 60 Rubicon. Continue to grow. And while you're at it, don't take yourself too seriously. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, sis.